All right, guys, good to see you. Happy Monday flipping morning. By the way, it is Halloween week here. We were driving, obviously it's Halloween week in England, but I also feel like it isn't really that celebrated as much in England. Although, since I left England 13 years ago, I feel like it's really got a lot bigger than when I was a child and we went trick-or-treating a fat round 0 times in my life. I've never been, never. And
wait a minute, you've never been trick-or-treating? Whoa. You've never been
only
trick-or-treating?
Only with my child.
Oh my
As a
God,
child,
Rebecca.
we never went. I know. And let me tell you, Taylor, the occasional knock, trick or treat that happened at my house in circa 1988, we didn't have anything to give them because bless my mum's heart, we didn't have a lot of cookies or sweets or candy or, crisps in our house. So sometimes I'd offer them raisins. So that was embarrassing.
That's
and
okay.
sometimes, well, do you want raisins? And I know. And how are we not egged? And sometimes a yogurt. Mum's like, well, I've got a yogurt. Do they want that? Oh, for the love of God.
I haven't heard yogurt before. I've heard raisins. I like raisins, so that would have been all right with me.
In England in the 1980s, it was quite literally trick or treat. As in here, it's just like, give me something nice to eat. There's no trick. You just give me food, right? In England, we took it literally like, do you want a trick or are you going to give me a treat? So we didn't want a trick. So we had to give them something.
Did you say 1980s? I thought you were born in 1990s, Rebecca.
Very nice, Theo. Very.
By the way, real quick, Rebecca, you are downplaying how great Halloween used to be in America because my generation, we did do trick or treat. You had to tell a joke. You had to say thank you. You had to do something. This generation just shows up, they open their bag and they're like, it's not a full-size Kit Kat. And you're like, hang on a minute, say something to me. Dance for me, do something.
How about the houses that just give up, turn all the lights out and leave a massive bowl of sweets on the doorstep? Just help your flipping self.
My girls are not allowed to take candy from those houses, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, because I want my girls to have to knock on the door and have to say a joke or they have to do the task. But if they got yogurt, I'm just telling you right now, if my girls in 7 days get yogurt, I will egg the shit out of that house.
You mean yogurt, yeah? Yogurt.
I mean, my mum Judith, yogurt. He means yogurt. My mum Judith, we got away with it back in the day in Ealing. We got away with it handing out yogurt and
raisins or yogurt?
I know.
What?
Theo, are you taking your kids trick or treating?
Yes, and I actually have to dress up myself as well.
Oh, no.
And I will send a picture
you're
up in the group.
Oh, you're one of those families.
No,
you're one of those families when you all
kind
go.
of. Well, put it this way, I'm going to dress up the dog this time. It'd be amazing, wouldn't it? No, I'm Deadpool.
That is
I'm Deadpool.
Oh, okay. I like that.
Is that a family theme?
No, not really. No.
No, the
I've
what
gone
are
all
the
out.
other kids?
They don't dress up. It's just me.
So you're just going out there, Deadpool, Theo Walcott, and asking
I will put it in the
sweets.
group. Don't worry about that. Deadpool, that's me.
Yeah, we need a picture.
Theo, are these your kids? Yeah, they're dressed up normal. They're fine. I'm Deadpool though. Thanks, guys.
But can I have some sweets? I am so boring and so miserable that I have never once dressed up as an adult, only as a child, but never as an adult. Have I ever dressed up ever? I don't think on Halloween. No, never. No, I don't think I have. I think it's a little bit weird. I got to be honest. I think it's a little bit
Well,
weird.
I am a bit weird, aren't I? So that's all good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not you, Theo. You're not weird.
I dress up every Friday. I don't need Halloween.
It is an absolute disaster. I mean, I think we're now in crisis mode. 4 defeats this season.
Virgil van Dijk looks an absolute shadow of the player. Liverpool need to go back to basics and forget about the ego. So that's a big problem for me right now.
I don't know who Liverpool is. I knew who they were last year. I don't know who they are this year.
I just think it's scary, and you're right. I think they can't lose it now. They really can't.
Yeah, but they're not really playing great football, or they're doing a lot of long throws, a lot of set pieces. Who cares? Nobody cares. They're going to win the league.
They are starting to click. We want to see United challenge. We do. It's better for the league.
Americans always say, the Super Bowl is the biggest event. Now, with the World Cup coming, you have every day a Super Bowl basically happening for 6 weeks.
Everybody in every city is talking about Thomas Müller in Vancouver.
Haaland, Harry Kane.
Oh, God, cut me deep.
enough of this absolute madness. At least we're not talking about Peter the Pooper Scooper. Right, we're going to start, guys, with the Premier League, of course.
Speaking of Pooper Scooper, go ahead.
I know! Liverpool. Yeah. Good segue. Good. I mean, it is an absolute disaster. I mean, I think we're now in crisis mode. 4 defeats this season. Did you know they're the first team in English top flight history to win their opening 5 of a season and then lose their next 4? They only lost 4 Premier League games in the entirety of last season. I'm not sure you can win the title if you lose any more than 6 or 7. So, Theo, is this a title hangover? Is this a blip? Are they going to be able to salvage their season? Which is a crazy thing to say in October, but it feels that way.
I feel that they're overthinking quite a lot, and that comes down to the manager. When they signed all these players, and I was one of them, they're going to win the league. They signed all these players, and it was like a fantasy league. But now when you look at the bigger picture and you try and implement your playing style into a team that didn't actually have to change too much because there wasn't much that was broken, inherited a squad as well. Lost 2 main factors to the squad, Trent and Diaz. Diaz was so important for the way they pressed, the way they counter-pressed, the way they counter-attacked. Everything about Liverpool was fed through him. I'm not just saying those 2 players have affected Liverpool. However, obviously taking into account Diego Jota, there's a lot that's happened. But try and integrate 5 or 6, 7 players into a winning title team doesn't happen often. You don't have to tweak too much when you win the league. You really don't. And I just think there's players that aren't themselves because I think they're overthinking and they're not playing as a team. Individuals right now, a bunch of individuals, too many egos, need to really separate that and try and focus on getting back to basics. I really do. Because you got Virgil van Dijk, who looks an absolute shadow of the player. Konaté, has been ups and downs as well for him. There's no structure to the way they play now. I'm not quite sure what their team is. There's no balance. There's no, like in Virgil used to have a solid brick in front of him with Gravenberch, but now all of a sudden he's having no one at times, and you got players that don't want to be able to commit to tackles, and the physical side of it's gone out the window. So for me, Liverpool need to go back to basics and forget about the ego. So that's a big problem.
They
for
attack
me right
with
now.
5, defend with 5. They're disjointed. Yep. And you know what's interesting is us 3 were talking about if it was last week, if not 2 weeks ago. And I just raised the simple idea of it looked like the manager was just chasing the game. He was, and he threw on every attacking player that he had and said, try and win the game. And it was, 4 in the back, 2 in the midfield, 4 up front. This week, they're down a goal, and he takes off Wirtz and brings on his center back.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, hang on a minute. What's going on right now? They've conceded first in the last 6 games in all competitions. That's the longest streak, according to the records that have been kept like that, since 2013, guys. So they're slow starts, but they are as disjointed as I've ever seen, Rebecca. And you know this better than me. That cohesion goes a long way, but when you bring in 5, 6, 7 new players, however many it is, it's bound to be disjointed.
Taylor, what's concerning, I think, is what Theo just said about how you don't need to tweak a title-winning team. Last season, Slot didn't have to do much.
Nope.
He just guided this ship. When he actually is having to do something, there's very little that he's doing right, because let's not pretend those first 5 games of the season were absolute obliterations of the opposition. They absolutely were late goals and hanging on. And I'm not saying he's not the manager we thought he was. I'm just saying this is now a huge test to double check, Taylor, that he is the manager we thought he was, yes?
Rebecca, it's a brilliant way of putting. Last year was Klopp's team. This technically is his team, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know the inner workings of, did the manager want these players? Did Jota's, unexpected death happen? Does that change everything? But moving on from Diaz, Rebecca, it's a legitimate question. Last year was Klopp's team. So you came in, the wheels are in motion, let it go, be the manager. Now, quite frankly, we had a great interview with Tom Werner, 5-6 weeks ago. They've lost every game since. So, by the way, he's never going to come back on the podcast. But why do I bring that up, though? Because there is a level of, I'm not going to say cockiness with him, but Tom was very confident with who they went and got as a person, who they went and got as a manager, how he stepped into everything. And all 3 of us, not on the podcast, but all 3 of us after the interview said, but this is very new. And Theo, Rebecca's right. You've said it from the beginning. When you win the title, it's at most 3 or 4 new players. But stylistically, I don't know who Liverpool is this year. And that is the best way that Rebecca can ask that question. Theo, I don't know who Liverpool is. I knew who they were last year. I don't know who they are this year.
I'm not quite sure. Yeah, I mean, hitting the nail on the head. I'm not quite sure what to expect from them anymore. And like you said, the cockiness side of it is actually quite interesting because there's an element of... There used to be an element of control with certain players. You'd see on the field, you'd be like, no problem at all. You know, you'd be able to deal in those situations, like Virgil van Dijk's a perfect example. But now I feel they're not going in 100%. It just seems pretty relaxed. It seems like, I can just go through the motions. That's what it kind of feels like.
Konaté has to leave his feet and go all in on that.
Yes, he does. But it comes from the manager. And I think you said it there. This is the slot team, which we would be worrying in the Premier League if you continue to play like this, because they would no chance getting the top 4 if they play like this.
Also, he was very Tom Werner, and we love Tom Werner, but he was very bullish, wasn't he, on possibly being cheeky going back for Mark Gay in January. I ain't sure Mark Gay wants to go to Liverpool. Just saying.
He can go to Arsenal.
Let's talk about well,
we can have another one.
exactly. I mean, not that you bloody need any more defenders. Crikey Moses. With Saliba going off and Mascara coming on, he's excellent. Okay, so Arsenal 4 points clear at the top. Eze scores the goal. We don't have to talk about the actual game, if you don't mind. I would like to ask instead, Theo, they cannot lose it from here. Again, sounds like a crazy thing to say. I heard Gary Neville say it, though, yesterday. I don't think, with who is chasing them, Bournemouth, Sunderland, I don't think that, and a team which is a one-man team in Erling Haaland, I'm sorry, as he called Tottenham years ago, Harry Kane team, they are the Erling Haaland team. I don't think they can lose it from here. If they do, right? They just got to go win it. Just keep doing it. Consistency. Just keep going. Go.
Yeah, I mean, look, they're 4 points clear, but they're not. They're more 7, 8 points clear, aren't they? Because, like you said, those teams aren't going to do a Leicester. They're just not. I think we said this. Arsenal can afford to play boring after a Champions League week as well. I know, obviously, Palace had that as well. They had the European competition, UEFA competition. Sorry.
Backhand compliment.
We had 2 days fewer rest, but anyway.
However, it just felt to me it was the same. It's the same game with Fulham, West Ham.
It's boring, but who cares, Theo?
Well,
right?
exactly. They cost the last year. Those 3 teams cost them 7 points, and this was the problem. They would have drawn these games because they would have never felt that comfortable 1-0. But they're working so hard defensively as a whole team. This is, which allows the forwards to have less pressure on them to score because they're all working so hard together, and they understand that they will not, and they believe they won't concede goals now. They don't give away any chances to allow the opposition to smell that they're going to make a mistake, because they just don't do that. They don't take risks. They're allowed to take risks further up the field. And I think as a forward, like I remember myself when I was playing at Arsenal, I felt like we had to score 3 or 4 goals just to win a game. Our defence, and that's me as well as a structured whole team, we couldn't defend like they do now. And I just think it's scary, and you're right. I think they can't lose it now. They really can't. I know I said that I put them a 3rd at the start of the season. However, I was completely wrong, and I don't mind being wrong in that case. But look, they're brilliant right now. They are really good. And the set pieces, yes, everyone's doing the set pieces now. Who cares? Exactly. Who cares? If you have players that put in a position, they've got a delivery like that, you don't have to have a free kick specialist. It's all about the players on the pitch, because they do it, essentially. Okay. So, look, amazing right now. There's no weakness. There really isn't.
Taylor?
I lost words now.
For the longest time, for my entire life, the Arsenal fan has always been arguing. They hang their hat on style. My rebuttal to Arsenal has always been, I have no problem if style is the way you go about it, but where's the substance? And Rebecca, you keep saying it. Who cares? In my opinion, for Arsenal, you got to get boring. You have to get a little boring. And I'm saying this is on a macro level. In order to get over the hump, in order to get rid of this notion that you can't win big, that you can't get over it and win it, you got to get a little boring. You got to get effective. You got to get confident in winning games 1-0, which they could do with their eyes closed. They've got, 9 different players with a goal. They're as deep as they've ever been. But Rebecca, before you signed on to this, Theo and I were talking about it very briefly, and I said, they don't look uneasy. See, Arsenal, as good as the Theo Walcott and the Thierry Henry teams and all of those Arsenal teams that made us love the game so much, there was an uneasiness at times because Arsenal didn't really want to defend as a collective. This team looks like they will do anything they can to keep a clean sheet. It's over 101 games. They've only given up, what was it, Theo, like 2+ goals twice?
That's right, yeah. In the last 4 games, 2 shots on target.
Yeah.
And everyone that argues, but it's not Arsenal style, I'm going to steal Rebecca's words. Who cares?
Honestly, that is the most annoying thing when people are like, yeah, but they're not really playing great football, or they're doing a lot of long throws, a lot of set pieces.
Who cares?
Nobody cares. They're going to win the league. Who cares?
Do you know what? That's you. Who cares? Yeah, for Fabrizio's, here we go. Yours is who cares, Rebecca.
Yeah, I'm going to trademark that. Who cares? It's such a good line.
Have you ever dunked a custard cream in a English breakfast tea with milk in? Has anyone ever done that?
Why have they got leaf blowers?
That is him.
That's right, said Fred in the front.
You're being cool. Big Fred. Unbelievable.
Gary Neville, grow a proper muzzy or shave it off your scruff.
You just said 4-3-3 before that.
Ça va? Hello. We're going to start Andrew on 2.5.
Can't wait.
That waited 18 years to sit there. No,
Team dynamics actually suit Marcus Rashford. It's Nicky Butt, Teddy Sheringham, Roy Keane, hang gliding over Hotel Pool.
Arsene Wenger saw that I was talking to Lionel Messi. Theo, why did you not push him down the stairs?
Shit.
Give him what he wants! Give him what he wants!
Lots of people care about the fact that Manchester City are not going to win the league, namely Manchester City fans. It doesn't look like they're going to win the league anyway because nobody can score a goal except for Erling Haaland. And as we saw at the weekend, when Erling Haaland doesn't score a goal, nobody scores a goal. Aston Villa made it 4 straight wins by beating City by 1-0. Congratulations to Villa. They're turning it around under Unai Emery. I do love myself a little bit of Unai Emery, by the way. I just think he's an absolute ledge in in all sorts of ways. On the field, off the field, super. But what I want to ask you, Theo, let me come to you first about this game, was the Jadon Sancho substituting of the substitute. So he comes on the 29th minute, right? And then he is subbed off in the 74th. So he lasts, whatever that is, I can't do the maths, about 45 minutes. Previously to that game, he's played 8 minutes of Premier League football. He's on loan, of course, from, actually can't remember where. Is he on loan from Manchester United these days? You never can quite remember with Jadon Sancho because he's never actually at the club that actually owns him. The awkwardness of Unai Emery trying to talk to Jadon Sancho as he left the field. Like, he wasn't putting a hand out like, I'm sorry. I think he was trying to explain maybe why he'd done it. But Sancho completely ignored him. We all know it's one of the ultimate humiliations in football. Where do you stand on somebody having it done to them? Is it ever okay? Talk us through what happened at the weekend.
Yeah, look, essentially it is a business and they want to get results. However, this is this side of it with the human side, and the managers don't see it. Just don't talk to him in that situation. He's going to be off. Apologies, my friend. He's going to be 100%. Like, what are you going to do to affect now?
Let it go.
To be seen, exactly. Let it go. Do it. Exactly, to be seen. It's what I'm saying about Jude Bellingham. To be seen for, however, he's playing really well at the moment. Just to be seen doing this, do it behind closed doors. No one needs to see this. He's going to be annoyed. That's fine. However, I don't agree with the fact taking a sub. I don't like it. It happened to Aboué, one of my ex-teammates actually, and he was the nicest guy, and you just felt he'd always work hard, and he'd come with a smile on his face every single day. And he actually had a bit of an injury, and he was playing, and then he got subbed. He came on for, I think it was Nasri at the time, put him right
in the
wing.
second half or the first half?
First half, I think it was like 25 minutes in, 35 minutes in. Got subbed.
So like this.
However, in the 90th minute. And then I look back thinking, he was getting booed.
Is that bad? I don't know if it's that bad. The 90th minute.
It's not, but he was getting booed. And then as well, like Aboué later on said about, like, you know, obviously he appreciated that Wenger and his teammates supported him afterwards. However, I don't think Wenger should have done that. And I think he said it was just basically very sad, the reaction that he got. And I'm thinking there's a few minutes left. Just keep him on.
I feel feel like there's a chance Wenger probably forgot that he didn't start because he'd come on so early in the game. You'd be forgiven for, did he start? Or we can take him off in the 90th minute. Do you know what I mean? I think there is a big, you're right. And if you can avoid doing it, avoid doing it. But to do it to Sancho like that is, I mean, at least it wasn't in the same half, which we have seen at times. That is bad. But then maybe Sancho needs to do more. Well,
yes. However, we are playing Man City, but as well, going back to the Buia one, he's playing out of position. Sancho's playing his position that he loves.
And he just had a really good chance 2 seconds before.
Yes,
done really
but
well.
when I look at Sancho, I'm still not quite sure his thing. Like, everyone has a quality, but I don't know what his trademark is.
I agree, but then don't buy him then. Or don't bring him in then. Like, if you don't know what you're going to do with him, don't bring him into the club and don't put him on the field.
He's got that ruthless side to Emery, and he understands that even Elliott doesn't make the squad. No one talks about that. And there's something going on there. He wants a reaction from certain players. Buendia's come back off the bench and they're a different player. They're a different outfit now, the way he plays. But look, I don't want to dwell on that too much. However, I would not like to have done to myself.
Did they win the game?
They did win the game. And that's essentially what it's about.
So he's vindicated, right, Taylor?
Well, it's not even vindicated because, first off, full disclosure, second half sub that got a red card, I'll raise my hand. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing when you come on and get a red card and you have to look at your teammates and go, I completely just screwed the pooch on the entire game.
Did you?
That's it.
It happened to you?
You did that.
Oh, I did. Absolutely. Came in 2-footed tackle within 3 minutes. Absolutely. It was brilliant. It was a great tackle, by the way. And by the way, with VAR, it would have been a yellow. Anyways, I digress. Hear me out on this. Sancho in his position, he comes onto the game. Why does he come onto the game? Injury, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? First half. So, in my opinion, 75th minute, you're up 1-0 against Man City. And you want to make a tactical decision. Whether Sancho played 45 minutes, 35 minutes, he played the full 75. Unai Emery is doing whatever he can to win the game, and sometimes you got to do that.
Yeah.
Where he messes up for me, Theo, you hit the nail on the head. Let him go. Let Sancho be Let him be that. I want my players to be pissed because that means I've got them in there. Emotionally, they're invested. Don't do that in front of everyone.
Because also, we don't talk about it this Monday morning if he'd walked down, if he just ignored it.
1,000%.
The commentator would have half mentioned it, but it was 74, not 45. So it still wasn't like super short that he decided to take him off. And I just think that it was that image for me. I remember I was in the studio. I said, right, get that bit in the highlight. We need this bit in the highlight. This is the story. And all of a sudden, that becomes the story other than the win. And if he hadn't, and for a man so experienced, I'm surprised that he did that. But I guess he's so in the moment and he's so impassioned.
He is, but Theo says he is what I've noticed, and I am 2,500 miles away. I notice he tries to get reactions out of certain players.
Yeah.
He's that kind of manager. So I think part of his managerial style is to try to push certain buttons with certain players. For me, knowing Sancho is temperamental or whatever it is, let him be. Because you know what? I kind of want Jadon Sancho to be because I might get something out of him. But I'm not going to one-up him there. I'm not going to MF him there. I'm not going to show him up because that's the only picture that's in the newspapers and in the tabloids. But they won the game. And you will never get me to... The manager's got to do what he believes in. And if the locker room, dressing room is strong and got good leadership, they know Jadon Sancho will understand that.
He did this to Ollie Watkins as well in the Champions League. Started Rashford ahead of him. And Ollie Watkins is arguably one of the nicest guys in football behind me. And... well, I'm out of football, actually. However, Ollie Watkins isn't scoring the goals. However, his attitude speaks volumes of where Aston Villa are right now. His work rate, his ethic, everything about him is Aston Villa. So look, it didn't make him effective. It changes his behaviours and it's a better player for it and a better person. But yeah, it's going to be interesting how Jadon Sancho takes this. That's the thing. It goes two ways here. And we know what it's down to him.
You know, I said, where's he's on loan from? He's on loan from Manchester United, but he needs to take it absolutely fine. He needs to take it on the chin because he hasn't got very many chances left in the Premier League. It didn't work at Man United. It didn't work at Chelsea. And at the moment, it's not working at Aston Villa. One, because he's being substituted as a substitute. And two, because he's not starting any games. And three, he's not contributing to the team. And he's still on an absolute shed load, by the way.
Wingers get subbed all the time. It annoys me anyway.
As they should.
Let's talk about his parent club then, Manchester United. 3 straight cheeky little wins. moving them up into, where are they? 6th? I don't know. They're pushing the top 4 at least. What I think has been interesting with this, Theo, is I can't remember many times where a manager has had a year of absolute dross, let's pretty much call it what it is, right? To then turn it around. Now, are we fully saying he's turned it around? We can't fully say that yet. It's 3 straight wins. But it is as big a turnaround as we've seen in the last year. It's kind of interesting to me as a kind of, you know what? Like, maybe the time thing, maybe it does take a year to change a system into a successful one. Maybe it does take a year to convince the players to come on board.
How many years did it take Arsenal to get on board right now? What,
That's
4
a
or 5
great
years?
shout. That is a great shout. Although there were a lot more shoots of recovery for the Arsenal. But
that was the model. I hear you. However,
he did say,
it was starting to mould his team. And when I say mould his team are understanding the way to play in the system now. And you always had to, when you have 3 at the back or 5 at the back or whatever, you always have to have one of the centre-halves coming out into the midfield to be a number 3 in midfield. Luke Shaw's that man doing that because he's the one that, out of all the players, you trust him to be able to recover as well. They need that if that make Bruno and Cunha work in the team, because I wasn't so sure if they could really operate in the same team, because I felt like the kind of 2 players that want to be in the same positions. However, once you get players who want to step out and be confident and have that trust behind them, that's no problem. This system works. And you have your Cunha's coming back and defending as well, and your Mbuemo's, who I think are outstanding. And it's one of those where you look at players that come away from the Premier League, come into the Premier League, they take time. These guys were built to play Premier League football, and it's taken them. I think Mbuemo's been incredible, and as a player, Arsenal should have bought many, many years ago.
Yeah,
however, this United team are so confident. I mean, I got it completely wrong. I just felt it would have just been a typical United performance. However, they are starting to click, and they're missing quite a lot of players still, which is worrying. So look, we want to see United challenge. We do. It's better for the league. It's better for everyone.
It's better for the league.
They are exciting. Taylor, they're exciting to watch now, I felt.
They are. But
games.
Theo and Rebecca, if we were on TV right now, I'd show Casemiro's finish because it's exactly what Theo just described. Luke Shaw stepping up in it, winning the ball, right? And then that turns into the finish. That is, listen, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't it after the Manchester Derby that Bruno Fernandes talked about the back line stepping? One of his quotes was the back line stepping in the midfield, being in sync with the line of confrontation, for lack of a better way to put it, from the midfield. And you got to be a little risky in man marking. I think De Ligt was pretty good at man marking, Danny Welbeck at times. But that's how the system works. I'm not all in and buying them yet. I'm not. However, where they've come from, Rebecca, we do got to be mindful. It does take a long time to change a mentality of 3 in the back, of risk-taking, of high line, like when every single system before that was the moment they lose possession, you take 1 to 2 steps back. You drop. It does take a little time.
I know. It's absolutely incredible. They are sitting 6th in the Premier League, level on points with Manchester City and above Liverpool. By the way, the top 4 is ridiculous. And when I say ridiculous, I mean amazing. Arsenal top, Bournemouth second, Tottenham Hotspur, who have been a bit like, what? This season, a 3rd in the Premier League, and Sunderland newly promoted a 4th. Massive shout out to Bournemouth and Sunderland, hoping that neither Bournemouth and certainly not Sunderland do a Hull City 17 years ago, who had an incredible start to the season under Phil Brown, you'll probably remember, and then they slumped to 17th and finished just above the bottom 3. Okay, MLS playoff time, chaps. Portland and Chicago both went through their wildcard rounds. Taylor, you were on MLS playoff duty this weekend. Quite a lot went on. Pick us out a couple of things to update us on, please.
2 things. One, Messi delivers with a diving header. By the way, great stat. He's got 897, 96 goals in his career, depending on where you look. 29 of them have been with his head. Only 3 of those have been diving headers.
Wow.
Which is crazy, because remember, wasn't it a Champions League final that he scored a diving header? And you forget because he's scored 890 goals. You're like, wait a minute, how did he score?
2009,
Yeah, wasn't it? So he delivered. Big news, obviously. We didn't talk about a lot last week. Jordi Alba surprising people. He's announcing his retirement at the end of the year. So is Sergio Busquets. So for the Miami Messi contingent, there's an emotional part to this now that they want to send those 2 off with the title and with a star above their crest at the end. So they go to Nashville to try to win and move on, where they lost as a number 1 seed last year. The interesting part to the MLS playoffs is Thomas Müller has shown up in Vancouver. Vancouver has 32,000 fans in the stands, and yet, guys, listen, Vancouver's always been the underdog. They've always been the team in the franchise that punches above their weight, but doesn't have a ton of star power. They are Canada's team right now. So when you go on social media and you see what everyone's talking about, it's never been this way since I've been covering MLS and been in MLS for 25 years. Everybody in every city is talking about Thomas Müller in Vancouver. He single-handedly changed the momentum for Canada and the country. They dismantled Dallas a night ago and won 3-0. And then obviously San Diego, Rebecca, I'll bring it up. Their first ever playoff win. They sold out. They took care of Phil Neville and Portland Timbers 2-1.
And they did it without Lozano, who's having a bit of a moment.
He is. We were just talking about Jadon Sancho. He got subbed out, Chucky Lozano, and apparently Theo, he said something that got him suspended internally for 2 games, including a playoff game.
Whoa. We don't know what it was?
Do we know what he said?
We don't know. We
but
don't
he says
know.
he's going to be back for the next game, though.
Yes, Mike Ibarra said after the game last night, as long as nothing changes, Chucky will be ready. But Chucky went on Instagram and said,
Lozano, more like.
Very.
I mean...
Woo! I like that, actually. That was well done.
Taylor, Müller.
You can use that.
Yeah,
Taylor, with Müller, has he done anything away from football that's quite amusing? Because he's a bit of a character. Has he done anything?
He's a knucklehead.
Apart from obviously releasing someone in the national team, didn't he? He did that which is great. Has he done anything else yet?
He has
Not yet.
immersed himself in the public life of Vancouver very quickly. Whether it's a Canucks hockey game, whether it's whatever it is, Theo, he's enjoying himself, as a now bachelor, since the personal life has changed for him a little bit.
Loving life out there in Vancouver. Okay, good for him. Right, guys, that does lead us nicely on to picks
That
of the
was
week.
a little TMZ.
One of them. It was a little TMZ from TT. Okay, updated table. By the way, I've done really well this week. I actually got some points. Theo, can I just tell you, Theo, watch out. Look over your shoulder. Taylor Twellman's 3 points behind you. It stands at Theo 44, Taylor 41, Rebecca 21. Taylor picking up 9 points last week. I got 5 points. Theo, so did you. We don't have to go through all the results, but needless to say, I was the only one that got Manchester United winning. Yeah, and that's where I made my points up. Okay, so this week's fixtures, you just mentioned it there, Taylor. Nashville into Miami in game 2 for them, right? Miami, doesn't matter about, it's not on aggregate, it's just game 1, game 2, and maybe game 3. So that's on Saturday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, which is 11:30 p.m. UK time. Give us your pick, go. No score.
I'm going to give you a little background. Decision day, Nashville had expected goals in the first 45 minutes, a 3.4. So after us 3 talked to Sam Surridge, Sam Surridge should have had 3 goals at halftime. He only had 1. Wow. They ended up losing 5-2. I am going to take, I'm going to say 2-2.
Oh, okay. That's what I was going to say.
And Miami wins on penalties. Keep in mind, the playoffs, you have to go to penalties to get a winner.
Do you get extra points for that?
No, we have to determine a winner. Yes, okay. And they don't want players playing 120 minutes in 3 games in a week. That's why they go to penalties.
Why do you have to go to penalties, Taylor? Can't it just finish in a draw and then game 3 it's a win and a draw and then...
They want a winner in all 3. They want a winner in all 3.
Do you go to game 3 no matter what?
No, you don't.
So they
it's
just
the first team to win 2 games.
A third game. That's weird. By putting the second one to penalties.
They're rewarding the regular season. Yes, it's a great question. They're rewarding the regular season standings by the higher seed having the last chance to win a game at home if they need to, but they're trying to make the playoffs look more, and it has for the most part, the higher seed in the regular season actually rewarding in the playoff standings.
So they can, that's just interesting that they deny themselves the possibility.
It actually started, by the way, for our listeners, it started Copa America and the Gold Cup is the first competitions that said no more 120-minute games in the group stage. In order to get a point, we're going to do 90 minutes, go straight to penalties, and they got more exciting.
Carabao Cup does that too.
Yep,
I'm here for that, by the way. I'm 100% here for that in the World Cup.
Me too.
Theo, what are you going for? Nashville into Miami.
Goals 3-2 Miami.
3-2 Miami, and I'm going to do this exact same as Taylor because I feel like that is now going to be my strategy for the rest of the season.
It's genius.
So 2-2 with Miami winning on penalties. Tottenham-Chelsea, Theo, 1:30 Saturday, 1:30 Eastern Saturday. Tottenham-Chelsea.
Do we need a goal scorer?
Yes.
I will go 2-1 Chelsea.
Ooh. At Tottenham, okay. And
Tottenham.
goal scorer?
Tottenham weren't great against Everton. Everton were poor.
No, they're not
Tottenham weren't
great.
either.
They're third. But I love Thomas Frank, so it's okay.
I do like Thomas Frank, but yeah,
Thomas
goal
Frank.
scorer Chelsea 2-1. Let's go for Caicedo. I don't know. That's a weird one.
Caicedo, okay.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
Not bad.
It's disgusting because it's exactly what I was going to say. I'm going to take 1-1 Caicedo. I'm going to just change it just because I'm chasing.
All right, and I'm going to go 2-1 Tottenham, and I'm going to go Sarr.
Go Thomas Frank as a goal scorer.
Spurs' goal. And then Sunday, the last game of the weekend, Sunday at 11:30 Eastern, 4:30 UK, Manchester City, Bournemouth, by the way. How about that for a cheeky little number? Taylor, you go first.
I'm going to take 2-1 City, and I'll take Holland. Shocker.
Theo?
I'm going 3-1 Man City. I think it won't be great to play them now, particularly at home after a loss. And
Wounded dog.
Go
it's a bad time to play them.
It is, isn't it? I'll go Foden. No, I'll go Haaland.
All right. And I'm going to go 1-1. Always have to try and do something different to get these points back. Yeah, I am. I love Bournemouth.
It's a long season. Rebecca, don't do
I'm
it.
not being
Don't
funny.
do it.
Bournemouth are second in the Premier League. What is the issue? They're second in the Premier League.
And
They're a
Theo's
really good
first
team.
in this. It happens. It just
Guys,
works.
don't worry.
but
Guys, I'm still going to go for Haaland scoring a goal. It's okay. I'm still going to get a point. Guys, don't worry. I love the care for me, but it's okay. Real quick, question of the week comes from Carlos Garcia 33333 on YouTube. Theo, I'll ask you all yours from the Premier League in a minute. Taylor, which current MLS player under the age of 30 do you think is closest to your style of playing when you were that age? Oh, good question.
It's a great question. I don't know under 30, but I will. I mean, the first name that came to mind is Joseph Martinez. He pisses off his teammates. He plays like his hair's on fire. And he only enjoys scoring goals. So, yeah, but he's 32, so that's a tough one.
I'll
take Joseph Martinez.
We'll give it to you. Okay. Theo, current Premier League player under 30 you think is closest to your style of playing when you were that age?
God, they don't have these wingers like me back in the day. I would probably say...
Back in the day. You're like 28.
No, but like they have all these inverted wingers. I wasn't that, was I? I wasn't
No.
on the outside. Who goes on the outside quite a lot? There's not many. Elanga, does he do it? But he doesn't score as many goals as me. I'm just trying to think.
You kind of scored, though.
Yeah, I
what
scored a
about
lot.
Semenyo? He goes on the outside, doesn't he?
No, but he's...
And Burmo?
What about a second forward in this day and age that kind of plays like you do? You know what I mean?
Do you know what? I was unique. They don't make me like they don't
I
make
agree
me
with
like
that.
me anymore.
They just don't make them. Yeah, you broke the
That's
line.
also why Carlos Garcia 33333 on YouTube is your burner account.
Yeah. Probably like Elanga. Like I don't know.
Elanga, speed. Yeah, no, that's not the worst shout.
There's
That is
no
not the
one
worst
there.
shout.
I don't know.
But he doesn't. He needs to score a goal. By the way, so
he's got to score a goal first.
Okay, guys,
Harvey Barnes,
exactly.
maybe Harvey Barnes.
Who? Harvey Barnes. Yeah, that's a good shout. Harvey Barnes on the other side. Yeah, that's a good shout.
Old school, isn't he? Yeah. Okay,
yeah, he's nice, Harvey Barnes, like you. Okay, chaps, before we finish here, winner stays on because it went so well last week when Theo finally understood the rules. This week, we are doing best current wingers in the world.
Okay.
Saka or Elise?
Oh, Elise's top, isn't he? Saka.
Yeah, I mean, okay. Saka, Rodrigo.
So good. No, Saka for me.
Saka or Luis Diaz?
Saka.
Saka or Antoine Semenyo?
Current form. Saka.
Saka or Rafinha?
Rafinha's injured, so he can't be him.
You know what I mean.
Saka. All right.
Jeez Louise. I mean, how literal are we today? You going Saka again, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Saka, Vinny Jr.
Different players again, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, the waiting and
I'm
the
gonna
pausing.
Okay, sorry, Saka, because Vinny Jr. he sulks all too much for me. Next.
Saka, Mo Salah. Not on this particular season, but you know what I mean, like generally.
Salah then. Salah.
Oh, Mo Salah, Lamine Yamal.
Lamine Yamal.
Oh.
Lamine Yamal, Leo Messi.
Messi, of course.
And yeah, exactly. And we end the game.
I love how that ends.
Taylor, yours is the best striker in the world.
Oh,
Isaac Gyökeres.
Isaac
Ekitike. Ooh.
Isaac.
Ooh. Ooh, really? Isaac Lautaro Martinez.
Martinez.
Martinez, Ferran Torres.
Ferran Torres.
Ooh, Ferran Torres, Julian Alvarez.
Alvarez.
Julian Alvarez, Jean-Philippe Mateta. I think that's a little bit unfair.
That's what?
They're different as well, aren't they? Come on.
Right.
Alvarez, Mateta. Who are you going for?
I mean, I'm staying with Alvarez.
Rude.
Because that's a bullshit
Alvarez,
question.
Ousmane Dembele.
Dembele.
Dembele, Haaland.
I mean, I'd have Haaland's babies if I could. Haaland.
Haaland, Harry Kane.
Oh, God, cut me deep.
I know.
I'm taking Harry Kane.
Yeah, I would. I'm
taking Harry Kane.
Harry Kane, Kylian Mbappe.
I'm taking Harry Kane.
So am I, Taylor.
I am.
So am I. One day, we're going to do a Harry Kane special on this podcast because the guy needs more love.
I think Harry Kane's underappreciated in a weird way.
I agree.
Guys, we got to end it there. We got to end it there because we got a special guest.
That was so much fun.
Right now on It's Called Soccer, we're delighted to be joined by Audi president Daniel Weissland, who has announced the renewal of their sponsorship of Major League Soccer. Daniel, thank you for joining us here on the pod. Audi, of course, has been in football for a long time, standing partnership, of course, Daniel, with Bayern Munich, and now more than 10 years with Major League Soccer. So what is it about Major League Soccer and Audi that works so well?
Yeah, first of all, thanks for having me today. It's a pleasure to talk about soccer, one of my favorite passions I have since a little boy. I mean, soccer is the biggest sport in the world, no? And with, I think, approximately 4 billion fans. And now here, obviously, in the US, we see it's the fastest growing major sport. And we want to bring soccer to the next level here in the US, especially when the World Cup comes next year to the US. I think it's a huge opportunity. And we've seen success over the last 10 years. The sport has been growing significantly here in the US, and we want to be part to bring it to the next level.
I just wanted to ask, actually, what does Messi winning the Golden Boot and signing extension do for the brand and exposure of the MLS League for you?
You know, like Messi is collecting all the different trophies, as you know. Probably the best, or one of the best players for sure we have ever seen in soccer, and he's still performing at a very high level. So yeah, he won the Golden Boot by scoring the most goals last season, and obviously they're probably also one of the favorite teams going into MLS Cup. And now with the extension of another 3 years, obviously there's huge excitement. He has a huge fan base here in America. And we're also excited that obviously having stars, not just like Messi, you know, like the German Thomas Müller came in and is putting a lot of headlines also here in Vancouver, but also Son, like from the Premier League, you probably know very well. So we're getting a lot of stars to the MLS, and it adds obviously to the excitement here in soccer here in the US.
Daniel, of course you would get Thomas Müller into a Messi question, so well done, my friend. Before I ask you a serious question, the most important question that us three are going to ask you, who is the best German player of all time?
Oh, that's a tricky one. No? It's like
that's why I asked it.
Choosing one of your favorite kids. I mean, I was a big fan of Franz Beckenbauer, but even though it was before my time, I think obviously one of the, would say, great athletes the German soccer team had. I also like Jürgen Klinsmann. Actually, I had the pleasure to meet him at the last MLS Cup in person for the very first time. And there's so many other players. I don't want to miss them. So it's really a difficult question. But I think different people, different soccer players at different times. But I also like Messi. I like the Ronaldos. I mean, just being a fan of the sport, seeing how those stars bring this sport to the next level is exciting.
Theo, I only asked that because I knew he wouldn't mention Gerd Müller, the greatest goal scorer of all time. That's why I brought it up. But it's my segue, Daniel, into the World Cup is coming here next summer. Theo, Rebecca, and I have talked many a times about what the World Cup's going to do for the sport in this country, but that's also why you guys are partnering with MLS for another 3 years. What does the World Cup do, honestly, for your brand and for Major League Soccer?
I mean, the simplest is always like the Americans always say, the Super Bowl is the biggest event. It had, I think the last one, 128 million viewers. Now, with the World Cup coming, you have every day a Super Bowl basically happening for 6 weeks. And I think that's argument enough to be excited of this. And I think it can really bring soccer to the next level. And I'm looking forward to be part of this as a viewer. I hope the American team is doing well, because I think it probably can bring some more excitement. But obviously, as a German, I also cheer for the German team. Sorry for that, Theo.
No, it's fine. Whatever.
No, don't. But what's the success? Sorry, Rebecca. What's the success for Germany? Where would you see them progressing?
Yeah.
Because obviously it's been a disappointment. I say disappointing. It's been indifferent. They've had a lot of changes. However, it's a younger squad. Where do you feel they're going to kind of?
It's a mixed bag. I think they can go very far. I think they have the potential. But unfortunately, the latest tournaments didn't show the German qualities we used to have. It's like at that big stage, we usually showed up and then performed very well. So I hope the best for the German team. Ideally, I hope America versus Germany in the final. Sorry, Theo. So that's my hope.
Well, we'll probably get knocked out by Germany. That tends to happen, doesn't it? But you need Musiala
No, you'd be
back.
knocked out by the United States.
No, we wouldn't be. Absolutely
No, that
not.
never happens, Taylor.
No.
Be quiet.
Daniel, I have to ask, we were talking about Harry Kane a few minutes ago. Back in
Yes.
Germany, his impact has obviously been just out of this world. But I'm interested in how he has been received, maybe away from the game. Is he gone mainstream over there? Tell us a bit about how Germany, if they are falling in love as a whole, as a country, with this very English centre forward.
Yeah, I mean, very English, interesting, very English. I think he brings a centre forward to the next level. No? I mean, I watch his games, even though I'm not in Germany anymore. I live here in the States, but I still watch the games Bayern Munich. And, like the last game I saw against Dortmund, where he almost played defense at the same time, then basically scored goals. So he's all over the place. And again, I think he brings also a team like Bayern Munich to the next level. For me, very impressive, his performance in Germany.
And Daniel, how do you feel having a German in control of the English team? Would you have an Englishman in charge of the German team?
No.
Good question.
Or if you could pick an English coach to manage the German team, who would you pick?
I guess not. I think the Germans are very particular about that. I actually was also surprised that the English chosen a German, maybe because of the history, because the Germans probably had one more World Cup than English. Sorry for that.
It's all good.
But that's maybe the only explanation I can have.
But seriously, Daniel, you don't think the country would be okay with an Englishman taking over the German national team?
I'll answer that. I'm American.
No, not really. I mean, what's the track record of the English team at the World Cup?
That's also a good point.
That's very good
That's also a good
Do you
point.
think?
Thank
Hey,
you,
hold
Daniel.
on, Rebecca. Do you think Tuchel actually drinks tea? Because we got to get Daniel's take on this.
Oh, that's a good shout, Daniel. We need to get Tuchel on the podcast and ask him, but we've asked a lot of our guests about this because we had a conversation at the beginning of this podcast a few months ago now, Daniel, about tea, because you know that tea in England is black tea with milk. I mean, that's the way that everybody should drink it, right? Would you drink tea in Germany, actually?
No.
If you're sick, yeah. Otherwise, you drink beer.
It is October. Okay. Wow. Only if you're sick. That's it.
Yeah.
I kind of agree with
That's what I do. So.
Look at Theo's face. Absolutely staggering. I know.
I think that's the fun about soccer. We bring in different cultures together. Some like
That's
tea,
true.
some like beer.
Yeah, and next summer we'll all be eating burgers and fries, won't we, Taylor? Right? Over
Yes,
here in the
we
United
will.
States.
Welcome
yeah.
to our
proud
world.
as punch.
God
Look
bless
at him.
you
Proud
guys.
proud as punch. Daniel, real quick, what does next summer look like for you? Is it all going to be the corporate stuff, or are you going to be able to have some fan experiences as well as you travel around the States?
So yeah, definitely I'm looking forward to have the games here in the United States or Canada and Mexico. I need to see how I can squeeze it into my business schedule. That's probably the biggest challenge in traveling around or watching it on TV. I need to figure that out. I still have some time.
Theo, opening game, Germany. The camera's going to pan right behind the goal, and Daniel's going to be there face paint, no shirt on, with 2 beers.
With a big Audi on his shirt.
Exactly.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Daniel, listen, congratulations on the extension with Major League Soccer. We wish you all the luck with that. We kind of wish you luck in the World Cup. We kind of don't, if I'm honest. But we really appreciate you coming on the podcast. Thank you so much, Daniel.
So thank you for having me. It's great to be here, and I'm looking forward to see you then all in person here next year when the World Cup comes to town.
Love it.
See you, pal.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you.
Thank you.
Amazing. I hope Germany get knocked out in the first round. Is Daniel still here? Oh, he is still here. Sorry.
Oh, it's
I'm
still on.
joking. I knew you were here.
right, chaps, that is about all we've got time for on this week's episode of It's Called Soccer. We're back next Tuesday, as always, brand new episode to break down what on earth is going to happen this weekend in the Premier League. In the studio, by the way, we've got Gary Neville and Lee Dixon all weekend. So we've just got a couple of right backs. I know, a lot of right back chat, I feel like. I know it's going to be a good studio Saturday and Sunday. So make sure everybody tunes in on NBC all weekend for that. And with this podcast, subscribe wherever you get your pods, Spotify, YouTube, Apple. Taylor, good luck with the playoffs and everything you've got going on this week. Yep. Theo, good luck out there on the golf course and that amazing life that you lead. And we'll see you next week.
See you next week. That was mean. I hope Palace get relegated. And Glasner leaves.